My dear Wormwood, it is a little disappointing to expect a detailed report on your work and to receive instead such a vague rhapsody that is your last letter. You say that you are delirious with joy because the European humans, have started another set of their wars. I see very well what has happened to you. You're not delirious, you're only drunk. Reading between the lines in your very unbalanced accounts of the parents' sleepless night, I can reconstruct your state of mind fairly accurately. For the first time in your career, you have tasted that wine which is the reward of all your labors. The anguish and bewilderment of a human soul. It has gone to your head. I can hardly blame you. I did not expect old heads on young shoulders. Did the patient respond to some of your terror pictures of the future? Did you work in some good self-pitying glances at the happy past? Some fine thrills in the pit of his stomach were there? You played your violin prettily, didn't you? Well, well, it's all very natural. But do remember, Wormwood, that duty comes before pleasure. If any present self-indulgence on your part leads to the ultimate loss of your prey, you will be left eternally thirsting for that draught of which you are now so much enjoying your first sip. If, on the other hand, by steady and cool-headed application here, and now you can finally secure his soul, he will then be yours forever, a brimful living chalice of despair and horror and astonishment, which you can raise to your lips as often as you please. So do not allow temporary excitement to distract you from the real business of undermining faith and preventing the information of virtues. Give me without fail in your text letter a full account of the patient's reactions to the war, so that we can consider whether you are likely to do more good by making him an extreme patriot or an ardent pacifist. There are all sorts of possibilities. In the meantime, I must warn you not to hope too much from a war. Of course, a war is entertaining, and the immediate fear and suffering of the humans is a legitimate and pleasing refreshment for our myriads of toiling workers. But what the permanent good does to it, but what permanent good does it to us unless we make of it for bringing souls to our Father below? When I see the temporal suffering of humans who can finally escape us, I feel as if I had been allowed to taste the first course of a rich banquet and then denied the rest. It is worse than not to have tasted it at all. The enemy, true to his barbarous methods of warfare, allows us to see the short misery of his favorites only to tantalize and torment us, to mock the insistent hunger which this present phase of the great conflict, his blockade, is. Admittedly, I'm posing. Let us therefore think rather how to use than how to enjoy this European war, for it has certain tendencies inherent in it, in themselves, by no means in our favor. We may hope for a good deal of cruelty and unchastity, but if we are not careful, we shall see thousands turning in this tribulation to the enemy, while tens of thousands who do not go as far as that will nevertheless have their attention diverted from themselves to values and causes which they believe to be higher than oneself. I know that the enemy disproves many of these causes, but that is where he is so unfair. He often makes prizes of humans who have given their lives for causes. He thinks bad on the monstrosity, sophistical ground that the humans thought them good and were following the best they knew. Consider, too, what undesirable deaths occur in wartime. Men are killed in places where they know they might be killed, and to which they go. If they are at all the enemy's party, prepared, how much better for us if all humans died in costly nursing homes, and amid doctors who lie, nurses who lie, friends who lie, as we have trained them, promising life to the dying, encouraging the belief that sickness excuses every indulgence, and even if our gestation of a priest, lest it should betray to the sick man his true condition, and how disastrous for us it is the continual remembrance of death which war enforces. One of our best weapons, contented worldliness. One of our best weapons, contented worldliness, is rendered useless in wartime. Not even a human can believe he is going to live forever. I know that Screwtape and the others have seen in wars a great opportunity for attacks on faith, but I think that view was exaggerated. The enemy's human partisans have all been plainly told by him that suffering is an essential part of what he calls redemption, so that a faith which is destroyed by a war or a pestilence cannot really have been worth the trouble of destroying. I am speaking now of diffuse suffering over a long period, as the war will produce, of course, at the precise moment of terror, bereavement, or physical pain. You may catch your man when his reason is temporarily suspended. But even then, if he applies to the enemy headquarters, I have found that the post is nearly always defended. Your affectionate uncle, Screwtape. Wow. Of all that's going on right now, this is one of the ones that pretty much is relevant today. Just because we have wars in Iran, wars between Israel and Hamas, and there's several rumors of wars and things. A lot of time the enemy will try to take your eyes away from God and try to make it more that you're glad you're American, or you need to protect your country, or yes, they will even bring the idea of extreme nationalism, which is America first, above everything. You do have to be careful with that, because nationalism will reach a point to where you're no longer worshiping God. You're worshiping the idea of your country and your leader. I'm not here to be political, but this chapter is kind of political. There is no way around it. At the same time, we do have to, even during war and even during pain and suffering, we do have to keep our eyes on God, and we do have to stay in prayer. That's all I have for this time. See you guys next chapter. Bye.